going to help me today. They hang out over at Fred Meyer's because that's where some of them work, and it's a family, and of course they work together. So it's pretty cool and pretty important as well. They've been there over an hour apparently, so I need to get over there. I should have probably asked how long it takes them to come down the mountain. The Dinoneckginas, that's a different topic altogether. Whenever I see dinosaurs, I always think to myself, man, they got the skin draped wrong. I mean, they try to model it on modern dinosaurs, but they are on modern animals. Like whenever you see a triceratops, they try to make it look like a elephant with horns in different places. And when you look at the range of motion on their neck, you got to figure the massive muscles that are attached to that. And I think the Triceratops had a lot heavier neck muscles than they're shown with, but I also think that they're longer and further out. And also there's dinosaurs like the T-Rex that would have had an extremely efficient range of motion. So when you figure they have that range of motion and you figure the elasticity of skin and the fact that many of these dinosaurs were both scaled and feathered, which is really cool. Some of them did just have skin and some of them did just have scales and some of them had feathers in a combination. But with the range of motion that they have and the flexibility of reptile skin and amphibian skin, as well as bird skin, there are birds with neckginas. There are some of them that are famous for having neckginas, like the stork. And there's a few different species of bird that have, of course, those little things on their necks that they can puff up. Where the hell are my keys? I can't go anywhere if I can't find them. Also, I can't remember the name of the place that I'm supposed to go to. So that's one of the other things. If I could have gotten my computer started, I could have looked it up because I have it recorded. But the problem is with my computer not working, that didn't get to happen. I also want to make sure that the lady who's helping me doesn't get overwhelmed because, like I said, she's got her own family. She's not rich. She also doesn't want any sort of compensation, which I think she should get paid for it. Where the hell are my friggin' keys? This is not cool. It is difficult to go anywhere without keys. There they are. Yes. That's what I get for moving stuff while I was making a video. I ended up burying it again. Anyway, since I've been waiting over an hour, hopefully it's not too late today to get anything done. Because that would suck too. That's not cool, but we'll do ourselves a little bit of driving anyway. My windows are way too fogged up to be safely driving, but I need to get stuff done. If I let it warm up for just a minute, then I guess it'll defog it just on the air and just take an extra minute for it to get warm enough to do anything major. It's defogged enough on my driver's side that I can see. And my passenger side, I'm not likely to be able to see much better. And also out my passenger shouldn't be any traffic coming. I picked myself up. Anyway, with the way the dinosaurs' heads and their head structures are, like Tyrannosaurus, definitely had a lot more muscle than what they're putting on there. But also, still having that range of motion, they would have had neckginas. There's also a possibility that they would have stored fat, same way as most mammals and some reptiles and even some birds. Well, most birds. There's a reason why you get a bird, they're seasonal. There are certain times of the year when they're more likely to have a higher fat content. And of course, in the spring, they're usually pretty lean. I'm gonna let this fella out. If I don't, he's gonna be stuck waiting for an hour. All right. Welcome, sir. All right. I just run past the lady and I forgot how wet it is. I hope I didn't splash her. Usually over here is where they park, so we'll see the cases here. I think that's them. Yep. I circle around like a shark. Make sure everybody knows they can see me. Alright, here I be. Anyway, a dinosaur, even if dinosaurs were fat like hippos, right? Let's say Tyrannosaurus Rex liked to put on a little extra fat. And he had a couple extra chins. Well, even with them extra chins, having the range of motion that he had in his neck would have required him to still have neckginas on top of his fat chin. So when we look at a lot of the bony structure of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, especially on the front part of the muzzle, on a lot of animals, yes, that part is pretty bare bones as far as how the muscular structure is. But on an animal that has a facial structure like that, even on a bird, There's more to it on there than what they put on a dinosaur like a T-Rex when they paint it. And the reason for that is because it's more terrifying. Also, when it comes to putting feathers on stuff, we've got a lot of artists who are painting up a lot of these ancient birds that we've been finding. And they paint them up so they look very much as if they were a they having a beak. They got teeth and a mouth and the facial structure of a T-Rex, which is cool and all that. But I think that they were probably a lot more terrifying looking. A lot of the evidence that we have suggests that there were parts of them that were feathered on the bigger dinosaurs and parts that weren't. It wasn't lush, beautiful feathers, like they're painting in these pictures. Some of the smaller dinosaurs, like Archaeopteryx, well, yeah, they would have looked a lot like birds. But a lot of the raptors that had feathers, they would have been very scary. Even if they were fat like a chicken. I mean, if we added the amount of weight and the amount of muscle structure that would be there proportionally for something that size compared to a turkey, we're talking about something that is heavily muscled. And yeah, that's not something that you want to continue. Also, the fact that the chest muscles that are attached to the V bone that is on the front of a turkey, those are huge. And if you think of a dinosaur that is proportionally larger, like far larger, in the front end, just because it's got more muscle there than we're trying to give it credit for, then we go back to them standing just a little bit more upright because it needs to maintain that balance across, not across its hip bone, but actually across its knees. Its knees are basically the deciding factor for where the center is, because like most birds, it walks mostly with its knees, everything from the knee down, and its legs would have been tucked in against its body. But we're not talking about something that's a complete ground dweller. I mean, if you look at a chicken stands pretty upright. You look at an ostrich, they stand pretty upright. They eat off the ground. They can crouch down and hunch down. Some of those birds have neckginas and some of them don't. And I'm not sure what the actual technical term for it is, or I wouldn't call it a neckgina. But I think that dinosaurs like T-Rex are probably a little bit more proportional as far as the way they looked. I think it would probably be closer to a hippo unless they were sickly. And a lot of the dinosaur fossils that we have evidence on them of things that would have made them very sickly, and they were lucky to have survived. They were probably close to starvation when they died. I also think that the Triceratops, because of the range of motion that it had in its head, it would have had to have connections to that head further out on the crest, not just against the base of the neck. Because it was able to move its head as far as it was, it would have had to have a neckgina. And I don't think it would have been fat like a hippopotamus, then it wouldn't be able to move its head at all. Alright. Well, I got my phone and I got the recording stuff so that a little audio thing. I wasn't sure what Jared had going on, so I was going to ask him if he thought Monday or Tuesday was better, but I hadn't gotten to talk to him since.
Yeah, no, he's off day tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. He said he could help me Monday or Tuesday because he's got those days off. Do you remember the name of the place I'm supposed to go today? Or supposed to call?
I know you were supposed to go to the counseling center talk to get basically like an advocate. I remember where you were supposed to call today. I know that one person was supposed to call you back, keep on calling you back, and they call you back until next morning.
Yeah, they waited until I was by myself, and then they pulled their BS. Luckily, I recorded it. That's the thing, is that they keep bouncing back and forth telling me, when I go to these places, they tell me, oh, we can't do anything because that's all the way in Nebraska. But I talk to the people in Nebraska, and they tell me, oh, well, this is a nationwide thing. They should be able to do that anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
And they bounce back and forth between the two, just so they can pass the buck. And I've got literally 6 years of recording on that, and that's what I need to turn in, is that I've been trying to get help. I'm having to go to broke folks or meth addicts or drug addicts or people that are, having to go to the poorhouse themselves to get help. And then, of course, part of their triage is they say, well, don't you have any friends or family that can help? Well, no, I don't. I have to do everything on everybody else's schedule, and everybody else has got their lives they're living. If I was one of these people's kids, yes, they would probably go in with me that day to turn that shit in. If somebody saw Molly doing that to their kid, even if their kid was 40 years old, I'm sure they would want to do something about that, because that's a scary thing to have happen. But, when it's not your own family, and especially when it's a guy, it's easy to say, well, he should be able to take care of it and should be able to handle it. And 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I could. After I hurt my back, it made everything impossible.
I know that situation.
All right, so were you going to go up to the counseling center with me, or was it the other place?
No, I can go to the counseling center. I was going to wait for a sister to get back.
Yes, ma'am. All right, good, because I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be back. Yeah.
We're not right here.
Yeah?
Go to the church. Want me to the church?
Which one?
First Christian.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got a pickup racing at 2:45, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. I'll try to make it fast. Oh, my God. I gotta pee. I got to pee. Come on, get out of my pocket, you little bastards. Hope I make it to the bathroom. Bonjour. I was just talking to your mom. They were waiting on you. Yeah. Open sesame. I love that. Hello. Open sesame.